Alright, so you want to do a clean install of Windows? Good choice. A clean install can breathe new life into your computer, making it run like new again. Whether you're dealing with a slow computer, persistent errors, or just want a fresh start, a clean install is the way to go. It can solve many issues and give you a fresh slate. We're going to walk through how to create a bootable USB drive. This drive will be your key to installing a fresh copy of Windows. Don't worry, it's easier than it sounds. With a few simple steps, you'll have your bootable USB ready in no time. With this drive, you can install Windows on your computer. This is especially useful if your system is unresponsive or you want to set up a new machine. We'll break it down into easy-to-follow steps. From downloading the necessary files to configuring your BIOS settings, we've got you covered. We'll cover everything from downloading the right files to getting your computer ready to boot from the USB drive. This ensures a smooth installation process. By the end of this guide, you'll be a pro at installing Windows. You'll have the confidence to tackle any installation. So grab a USB drive, make sure it's empty, we don't want to erase anything important, and let's get started. This is the first step towards a faster, more reliable computer. It's time to dive into the world of bootable USBs and fresh Windows installations. Let's do this. Get ready to transform your computing experience. Before we get started, let's gather the tools we need. It's important to have everything ready before we dive into the process. Don't worry, you don't need anything fancy. Here's what you'll need. Just a few essential items that you probably already have at home. First, a USB drive. This is what we'll use to install Windows. Make sure it has at least 8 GB of storage and back up any data on it because it will be erased. A larger drive is fine too, but 8 GB is the minimum requirement. Second, a computer with an internet connection. We need this to download the Windows installation files and the tool to create the bootable USB. A stable internet connection will make the process smoother and faster. Third, the Windows ISO file. This is the file that contains all the Windows installation files. We'll download this in the next step. Make sure you have enough space on your computer to store this file temporarily. And finally, Rufus. This is a free and easy-to-use tool that we'll use to create the bootable USB drive. Rufus is reliable and widely recommended for this task. Once you have all of these, you're ready to move on to the next step. Let's get downloading. With these tools in hand, the process will be straightforward and efficient. Now let's grab the Windows installation files. These usually come in a special package called an ISO file. Think of it like a digital box containing everything needed for Windows. Head over to the official Microsoft website using your web browser. You'll need to find the section for downloading Windows. Make sure you choose the right version of Windows that matches your computer's license. You'll also need to select the correct language and whether you need the 32-bit or 64-bit version. Once the download is complete, you'll have the Windows ISO file ready. Now let's move on to making that USB drive bootable. Section 4. Rufus, your bootable USB creation tool. Remember that Rufus tool we talked about? It's time to put it to work. First, download Rufus from their official website. It's a small and safe download. Once downloaded, run the Rufus application. It will ask you to choose the USB drive and the Windows ISO file. Select your USB drive from the list in Rufus. Then click the button to select the ISO file. Find and choose the Windows ISO file you downloaded earlier. Double-check that you've selected the correct drive and file. Accidentally choosing the wrong drive could lead to data loss. Click Start and let Rufus work its magic. It will format the USB drive and copy the Windows installation files onto it. This might take a few minutes, so be patient. Section 5. BIOS settings, telling your computer where to look. This section is crucial for ensuring that your computer knows exactly where to find the bootable media you've prepared. Now, our bootable USB drive is ready. It contains all the necessary files to start up your computer. But your computer doesn't automatically know how to use it. It needs a little guidance to find the right path. We need to tell your computer to look for the USB drive first when it starts up. This is like giving it a map to follow. This is done through the BIOS settings. Restart your computer to begin this process. As it starts up, you'll need to press a specific key to enter the BIOS settings. This key is often displayed briefly on the screen. The key varies depending on your computer manufacturer. It could be F2, F10, Dell, or EC. It's usually F2, F10, Dell, or EC. Make sure to press it at the right moment. You'll see a message on the screen during startup telling you which key to press. Pay close attention to this message. Once you are in the BIOS settings, look for a menu called Boot or Boot Order. This is where you can set the priority of boot devices. Here, you can change the order in which your computer boots from different devices. This is crucial for directing your computer to the USB drive. Move the USB drive to the top of the list. This tells your computer to check the USB drive first. Save the changes you made to the BIOS settings and exit. This step is essential to ensure your settings are applied. Your computer will restart, this time booting from the USB drive. If everything is set correctly, it will now follow the new boot order. Section 6. Starting the installation, getting your new Windows up and running. With the BIOS settings configured, your computer will boot from the USB drive. You should see the Windows installation screen. Follow the on-screen instructions to begin installing Windows. You'll be guided through the process of selecting your language, keyboard layout, and the edition of Windows you want to install. Next, you'll need to choose where to install Windows. This is where things get a bit more technical. If you're unsure about partitioning or formatting, it's best to seek help from someone with experience. Incorrectly configuring these settings can lead to data loss. Remember, a clean install will erase everything on your hard drive. If you have important files, back them up before you begin the installation process. Section 7. After the installation, you're almost there. Congratulations, you've successfully installed Windows. But before you start celebrating, there are a few more things to do. Once the installation is complete, your computer will restart. The first thing you'll notice is that Windows will look very bare bones. That's because you need to install drivers for your hardware. Drivers are like instruction manuals for your computer's components. They tell Windows how to communicate with your hardware, like your graphics card, sound card, and network adapters. You can usually find the necessary drivers on your computer manufacturer's website. After installing the necessary drivers, you're good to go. You've successfully performed a clean install of Windows and your computer is ready to use.